Islam, this is the Mahdi, the 25th of Rajab, and we're here to give the news. Today I titled this day, through the inspiration, prostitution of the soul, love has come. It becomes necessary for one people to assume authority in the earth that God entitled them. This is the Declaration of Independence. These are the founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington. This is the earliest thought of American politics. American culture, American education is that one people must assume authority in the earth, and they believe that God entitled them with this right. What's interesting about this country and the founding fathers is that on the back of the dollar bill it says, "In God we trust." So they basically started their campaign, their missionary work, with the name of God. But that's hypocrisy, considering what they have done over the years, over the many years of the American judicial system. The whole exegesis of American existence has not reflected anything of a godly nature. God has already selected the guardians and captains of the free world. This one people that are supposed to assume authority within the earth as entitled by God according to Moorish law, this God has already chosen the guardians and captains of the free world. And they have to be from Abraham's seed. So who's more wicked than one who lies on God's name? Because the Quran precedes the United States. So where did the United States get the ideas from? Where did they get the idea that God has a chosen people, a chosen race? They got it from the Quran. And it's also been documented in history that the founding fathers had the Quran. They were actually Freemasons. And anybody who knows anything about Freemasonry knows their secret teachings, their books. We talking about Hanley P. Mason, like where they get the name Freemasonry from. The man P. Hanley has already declared that a Mason can never be loyal to any religion. They have to know all of them. So a Freemason is going to be touching the Quran, touching the Bible, touching the, you know what I'm saying? That's why you see Sonetta TV and how he runs his program. He never claims no religion because he's a Mason, and Masons are about confusing motherfuckers. They're never about centering themselves in anything. Alright, so this is what God says. Illegal sex is forbidden, open or private. Sin and abuse is forbidden. To associate Allah with anything superficial is forbidden, and to slander the name of God is forbidden. So, in God we trust is what they say on the back of the dollar bill. But the only God that precedes America is the Quran and the Bible. And America founded their country off of so-called Israelite traditions, right? Jesus Christ. So the God of Jesus is the God of Allah, right? The God of Jesus Christ is the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Ishmael, Muhammad. So this God of the Quran is the God that they're saying that they trust in and that gave them the right to rule the world. But this God is saying that illegal sex is forbidden. Is it not true that porn is a business in the United States and Hollywood? Studio City in California, I've been there. I walk the motherfucker. They got literally porn has been made legal. Lottery tickets is legal. Liquor stores, homosexuality, illegal drugs, GMO foods, slavery before and after 1865. Because that's considered to be Bach. Abuse. The abuse that the white man put on a so-called Negro in America is unprecedented according to worldly standards. Avima, sin, right? Spying on black folks. Putting poison in your food, chemtrails. This is called athema. Planned Parenthood, killing your babies. This is called athema. Right? The ghetto. improper wealth distribution, where black folks can't even get a job in their own neighborhoods. This is called baki, abuse. You're abusing the money. Police brutality, false arrest, interrogation without right, planting drugs on innocent human beings, right? And let's not forget about slavery. How the fuck do they believe in God? How is it in God that they trust when they have violated everything that God has forbidden? Prostitution of the soul is what we talking about, ain't that right? So one of the things that America has done is Sharik Lam Sultan, right? To associate Allah with anything superficial is called Sharik Lam Sultan, right? So what's an example of that? We're going to talk about it. Allah says in 2:102, they followed what the devils confessed during the reign of King Solomon, how to break relationships between the sexes. Farik Baina Mar'i wa Zawj, and poisons, Daru Wala Nafi. It was already written that whosoever sold his soul for the knowledge of the devils would have nothing in the end, right? Nothing in the end means they will have no soul. You have to sell your soul to get this knowledge, right? And we know that the Freemasons have to take an oath, especially the ones who have the 33rd degree, right? The ones who have received the higher demonic sciences. How to break relationships between the sexes. This was what these Freemasons, these founding fathers who associated themselves with the chosen birth, right? They actually claimed to be Abraham's children because only God entitled them leadership of the free world. So they associated themselves with the birthright, right? And then they allowed the demons to get loose, because there's no country that we know more synonymous with this Farik Baina Mar'i wa Zawj, this relationship gender war, than America, ain't that right? Because you see this shit prevalent in the black community. So during the time of King Solomon, he was able to basically get the devils to tell him, you know, what their purpose is, like what is their assignment. So Asmodeus told Solomon, you know, I'm basically the devil of rape and molestation and gender war, right? I make married couples cheat on each other, right? This is what they follow, because King Solomon wrote it in the book. He talked to all the demons and got everything that they're supposed to be doing. Asmodeus, his name may be something different today, right? Asmodeus, this demon who confessed to Solomon who the fuck he was and what his purpose was, is still alive. That demon has been resurrected. You see it today because you hear a lot about molestation, incest in the family, and you know, little girls being touched. Dr. York and Drew Ali, and you hear the rumors and accusations of Polite, right? It's almost like anybody who's a Mason seems to always be associated with molestation and rape. And then in the black community, you always see this beef and war between the black man and black woman. The gender roles have been completely reversed. A lot of men can't stay faithful to their woman, and you see a lot of adultery going on because this is a demon, right? It's an actual knowledge. It's a craft. It's magic. It's Farik Baina Mar'i wa Zawj, okay? Now the Bara Wala Nafi, the poisons, that's what's in your food. That's the fucking genetically modified food. That's the bullshit that you eat. This is witchcraft here, people. This is what they learned. This is what the Freemasons learned. You understand? It was written that whosoever sold his soul for this knowledge would have nothing in the end. Another demon, Aniskilis, the demon of sluthood, thothood, skankhood, right? This is your Nicki Minaj, your Cardi B spirit, right? This is the woman who got mood swings. One minute she's all submissive like a pussycat, like when you see them in their videos, they act all submissive like a pussycat, like they want to just surrender and give up the pussy. You see all these little whores on TV with their music videos, legs wide open, splitting and shit. They skanks and sluts. Understand? Allah says that this whole thing is about good behavior. This thing is a test. I did a lecture on that and I explained the rules of the game. That this is a test. To act like a slut, you have to have the demon to really do a good, right? Now, what you see on the surface level in the ghetto, what you see people in the projects and people in the suburbs trying to act like Nicki Minaj, they don't even realize that they're following, demon-possessed people. So they really low-key pretending to try to be like Nicki Minaj when they dress like her. When you see these little women, these young ladies in the hood and all over the fucking United States trying to imitate these Hollywood celebrities and these hip-hop celebrities who are actually demon-possessed. It's like on some surface level shit. But we talking about honest Scalise, a real demon who is like a thought, a skank bitch. Right? She's 1 minute submissive, like she's ready to have sex and let you do anything to her. But then next minute she's like a vicious fucking dog. You just listen to Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. Listen how they switch from their mood swings. Right? These are the groupie bitches who be hanging out with the black athletes, looking to try to come up. This is an actual type of behavior, but it's a demon. Remember, Allah forbids athema, and athema it's interesting. That's an Arabic word, athema, but I think athema is a Greek god, the god of sin. Athema has definitely resurrected up in here in America. The American government are the inheritors of the satanic knowledge that was given to King Solomon. They are the inheritors of it. Allah says in 55:33, yo, party of jinn and man, if you could penetrate the zones of the heavens, then do it. If you can penetrate the zones of the heavens, then do it. The previous verse I said they followed what the devils confessed to King Solomon, right? Because they were the Jews of those days. You see, the devil cannot penetrate the zones of the heavens, because the heavens is where all the heavenly knowledge is, the prophetic knowledge. Remember, I said in my lecture, a prophet, according to Moore's law, is that a prophet must have 83 years of advanced knowledge, but it comes from up above. Revelation comes from above and it descends into this earth. So we're talking about time and space. One day to Allah is not one day to the human. So when you get knowledge from heaven, you're getting advanced knowledge. You're ahead of the game. So Allah saying in 55:33, yo, jinn, if you can get that knowledge, then penetrate the zones. Allah says in 55:35, but there's going to be a smokeless flame waiting to strike your ass, because it's impossible. So the only way that the devils can get understanding of prophetic knowledge is if they are able to get close to those who have it. That's why Jesus had one snake in his group. That's why Muhammad had one snake in his group, Abu Bakr. Because the devil is always trying to get close to those who get close to the prophets, because then they can be able to get that knowledge, but at a cost. The devil promises you things, delusion, money, fortune, and fame for that knowledge. And that's why the Israelites sold the Bible. That's why they sold their shit. They sold their Torah to the white man, to the Greeks. Satan cannot get prophetic knowledge, end-time knowledge, without having access to or close accountability with some of the descendants of the prophets. Not the prophets who sin or the successors of the prophets. It is the tribesmen, those who are companions, disciples. It'll be those like the Pauls who sell out and start revealing some of the things that they heard from the prophet's mouth. So what does that mean for those who are following the American dream, right? Because believing in the American dream and supporting the nightmare makes you a prostitute too. Because Allah said they knew that they sold for this demonic knowledge. They knew that they was never going to have nothing in the end. That's because in the end it's supposed to be what? The arising of the Mahdi, the arising of God's kingdom is going to come back. You have nothing in that. You're going to be a slave. What's going to happen to those who continue to fund this American mental asylum? 485, whoever involves himself with something good shall have a share of good. Vice versa, whoever involves himself with something evil shall have a share of evil. This is called cosmic law. It's already written. It's a game, y'all. So if you continue to support the devil, because that's what the American government is, right? It is forbidden to slander the name of God. They use the name of God in their money. They use the name of God in their Declaration of Independence. They call themselves God's chosen, but then created a government that was totally adverse to God, God's law, God's expectations, God's wants, God's desires. They're fucking hypocrites, devils, Freemasons, Satan's close hand. And the prophet couldn't have said it no better 1,400 years ago, ain't that right? The prophet said, "O people, Allah the mighty and sublime never sent any prophet except that this prophet warned his people about the Dajjal." He says, "When you fall in doubt about him, remember that your Lord cannot be one eye." The mighty sublime kept the Dajjal alive until your time. So this is very contemporary with the prediction of America. Because America was predicted in the Quran 1,400 years ago, and the eye is synonymous with their money, the eye is synonymous with their organizations, with their celebrities, in their communicative inner circles, then that goes without saying. We know that the white man is the false Messiah. The white man is the Dajjal. America is the land of Satan. They portrayed the Eye of Horus as God's image, but the education came from the devil. You can't even be a Freemason without integrating yourself with the Eye of Horus. In God We Trust was a portrayal. Saying that they were the chosen ones of God was a lie. And all these things are forbidden. So evidence proves that America, their God, is not really God, but their God, or should I say, who they choose to take as their God, and I put that in quotations, some serious ones, is without question Satan. God did not choose the American white man to be the one people to assume authority in the earth. No, sir. No, sir. This is completely hypocrisy. I warn the people, follow the Mahdi and humanize yourself or dehumanize yourself with Satan's Disney World, Hollywood films, and video games, because that's all you're going to get. That's all you're going to get here. Freemasons can't believe in end-time prophecies because of their own oath to the lodge. I already told you. Look at everything America has done to get famous, people. And then you will know and you will see what the prostitution of the soul is really all about. Save yourself and your family. Because one thing that's for certain is that God's chosen will never rule like this. They will never use the name of God and do a country the way they did here. Ain't that right? I warn you of the greatest war to come, that it has been prophesied from the prophet's lip. And I am the Mahdi who gave the warning. Ayya.